We go to the Supreme Court.
Why?
Yesterday, they were opening arguments in the case for child-affirming care, aka child mutilation, aka meatball surgery.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. Are you retarded?
And stupidity and ignorance had front row seats.
Oh, it's true!
I'm Josh Berganzo on this. And no, it didn't come from the attorneys.
What?
It came from the judges themselves.
Fuck off.
But it's what's next. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Josh Berganzo, what's next? Your daily dose, common sense, facts, and salt. It's Thursday. Hope you guys are feeling good today. Well, you might have missed us. You know, you might have been, I don't know, washing your hair, getting ready for the chill, you know, the East Coast, because it's going to be a cold one. And, I don't know, doing laundry, taking a shower. But it turns out that they were opening arguments for a child-affirming care case at the Supreme Court. Better known as child mutilation, better known as meatball surgery for those under the age of 21. And you would think, okay, these are opening arguments, everybody's just got to feel their way, like a boxing match early on, couple of jabs, things like that. But it didn't take long for the stupidity and ignorance to have front row seats. We're going to focus on two judges in particular. This coming from Breitbart. Up first, Judge Sonia Sotomayor. SCOTUS Judge Sotomayor, compares the risks of sex changes for minors to aspirin. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Such a shame. Liberal-leaning Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor compares the risk of puberty blockers and sex mutilating surgeries for minors to the risks of taking aspirin on Wednesday. Sotomayor made the shocking comparison during oral arguments in the United States versus Scrimeti, a case brought by the Dementia Administration challenging Tennessee's law banning sex change drugs and procedures for minors who believe they are transmental. Well, they're mentally ill, but that's another story. Quote, they cannot eliminate the risk of detransitioners, so it becomes a pure exercise of weighing benefits versus risks. And the question of how many minors to have their bodies irreparably harmed and unproven benefits is one of the best left to the legislature, Tennessee Solicitor General Matthew Rice argued. Quote, I'm sorry, Counselor, Sotomayor interjected. Every medical treatment has a risk, even taking aspirin. Yeah, okay. There is always going to be a percentage of the population under any medical treatment that's going to suffer a harm. Yeah, of course, being that transmentalism represents less than 1% of the country. Okay. Greg Price. How many minors have their bodies irreparably harmed for unproven benefits? Sotomayor. Every medical treatment has risk, even taking aspirin. So, let's take a listen.
Cannot eliminate the risk of detransitioners, so it becomes a pure exercise of weighing benefits versus risk. And the question of how many minors have to have their bodies irreparably harmed for unproven benefits is one that is best left.
I'm sorry, Counselor. Every medical treatment has a risk, even taking aspirin.
According to the Mayo Clinic, appropriate studies have not been performed on the relationship of age to the effects of aspirin extended release capsules in the pediatric population. Aspirin is used as a pain reliever and also sometimes prescribed to lower potential for heart attacks and strokes and at-risk patients. The drug can render dozens of potential side effects, which require medical attention, and others are more mild, Mayo Clinic details. So basically, there are certain circumstances, the reason why aspirin may be an issue, but over the general population, no. The side effects for sex change drugs and procedures can be much more severe, massively more severe, including irreversible, couldn't get that out, mutilation and infertility. Some of the so-called treatments include double mastectomies, the removal of both healthy breasts, female and male genitalia mutilation and removal, facial feminization, masculization, hormone treatments, and puberty blockers that can cause chemical sterilization. Puberty also can have long-term impact on bone growth, bone density, and growth spurts, according to the Mayo Clinic. Transgender activists frequently claim that sex mutilating drugs and procedures for confused minors reduce suicides and improve mental health. No, they don't. Dubious claims which increasingly appear untrue as more studies and data come to light. Other research has indicated that a majority of children who are confused about their sex grow out of it. Yeah, it's called a phase. Ever heard of it? Feeling by the time they become adults. European countries have pushed sex change drugs and surgeries for minors before the United States are notably reversing course over concerns about long-term impacts. Elon Musk. I'm cool with adults doing whatever they want, so as long as it doesn't harm others. But kids need to be protected at all costs. Amen. In the United States, the top-down push for minors obtaining sex-mutilating drugs and surgeries under a misleading moniker gender-affirming care, see the Rear Admiral Dick Levine, is clear and promulgated by President Joe Dimentia's White House, academia, large hospitals, and major medical organizations. At the root of these actors, along with the proliferation of gender ideology on social media, ultimately promote false ideas that human beings can be given a different sex when they were born as. What they were born as. Even further, as gender ideology complex claims these individuals should take sex change drugs and get sex change procedures to align their outward appearance with how they feel on the inside, because it's all about my feelings. While a push towards transmentalism is heavy ideology, a report released in December 2020 found that the U.S. sex reassignment surgery market was valued at $267 million in 2019 and is expected to expand at compound annual growth of 14.4% from 2020 to 2027. Look at that. Look how it's exploded, especially in the last few years. And they're predicting this for the next few years. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. The Biden administration ultimately asked the Supreme Court to reverse a ruling from the Ohio-based 6th U.S. Circuit Court in appeals upholding Tennessee's law protecting minors from getting their balls chopped off and Susie's breast lopped off. But no, we can't have that. We want kids' lives to be destroyed. This is a relatively new diagnosis with ever-shifting approaches to care over the last decade or two. Under these circumstances, it's difficult for anyone to be sure about predicting these long-term consequences of abandoning age limits of any sort for these treatments. Chief Judge Jeffrey Sutton, who was joined by Judge Amar Thapar, wrote for the Sixth Circuit. As almost half of the United States have passed laws barring minors from obtaining transmental surgeries and drugs, the resulting Supreme Court ruling will likely have broad sweeping impacts over the future of so-called gender-affirming care, as well as parental rights. Of course, this was concentrated on Judge Sotomayor. The fact of the matter is, she's an idiot. She's an idiot. To compare taking aspirin to having hormones that will irreversibly, irreparably destroy the child's life, and that's before you mutilate them. But no, it's the same as taking aspirin. What an idiot. For almost 25 states to take protocol to say we will not allow this to happen to our children. Over the age of 21, knock yourself out, do whatever the fuck you want. Don't care. But under that, especially when you're home, under mom and dad, absolutely not. But sadly, there are mom and dads out there who've allowed this to happen to their children, to allow their child's bodies to be mutilated and destroyed. You got someone like Chloe Cole, who has gone around the country and speaking of how she was brainwashed, basically. She was indoctrinated. She was thinking that she was something when she really wasn't. And she had a double mastectomy at the age of, I think, 14, 15. And she's infertile. She can't have children because of the hormones have destroyed her. But she's out there, along with other detransitioners, that's what they're called, who are fighting for this. This should be an open and shut case. You allow the stupid to come out in the forefront, let them have their piece, and then you smack them down. So at the end, the Supreme Court, in my opinion, will do the right thing. But then again, we still have another judge now, don't we? And with that being said, I'm Jazz Borganzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share, subscribe to it. Hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a thing. Continue spreading the word about the show. Appreciate you guys watching, as always. And we'll see you next time. Peace.